Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Six Path Weeb, and you've just tuned into another fanfic deep dive. Today, we're continuing with part 2 of our scenario. What if Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji were on Naruko's team? Before we jump in, quick disclaimer. This content is for entertainment and discussion purposes only. I do not own any of the anime footage used in this video. All rights and credits belong to their respective creators and copyright holders. Now, let's get started. So, what's the big deal? What was the symbol you all noticed? Naruko asked with impatience. Everyone returned to the hotel and gathered in Naruko's room to share their discoveries. The most concerning detail was that several mysterious robed figures had been seen, each with a symbol on their backs that seemed strangely familiar. To Naruko, it didn't seem like such a huge matter, but her teammates looked uneasy. The symbol belongs to a clan we all know, Shikamaru replied. The Yamanaka? Yamanaka? Naruko repeated curiously. Isn't one of our classmates from that clan? She tried to recall. Kiba smirked. I'll give you a hint, Sasuke. Oh, Sasuke. He and Shikamaru chuckled briefly, though their timing wasn't exactly appropriate. Anko's sharp glare quickly brought them back to seriousness. It's Ino's clan, Anko clarified. Naruko had to stifle her own laughter, but quickly straightened when Anko resumed her explanation. The mercenaries are working for the cult. It's clear they gained control of the mayor's hall and are using its resources to fund their activities. Shikamaru nodded. That fits. But their defenses seem strangely loose for a village that has been completely sealed for months. Even knowing a rogue Yamanaka is involved, it doesn't explain why I haven't seen a single organized shinobi presence. One ninja with light mercenary backup shouldn't be able to trap an entire population. For the first time, Anko's face showed genuine concern. The Yamanaka clan, she began, is one of the most peaceful clans in the Hidden Leaf. Shikamaru frowned, recalling how Ino often quarreled with others at the academy, but he kept his thoughts to himself. Politically, the Yamanaka have always aligned with the Hokage. Like the Hyuga, they never stray from the village's path, which is remarkable. The Hyuga's unity is based on clan hierarchy, but the Yamanaka value freedom and cooperation. They don't force their members to pursue strength against their will, which prevents the inner conflicts other clans sometimes face. Because of this, they almost never produce rogue shinobi. Kiba leaned forward. So if we found one, we should bring him back to the Hokage, right? Anko shook her head. This isn't a simple assignment anymore. The moment we discovered his presence, this mission became A rank. We have to withdraw. Naruko sprang to her feet. What? No way. I'm not running away like some coward. It's just one ninja, and there are 4 of us, we can take him. You don't understand, Anko replied firmly. This shinobi is infamous. Long ago, after the Nine Tails attack on our village, he began secretly experimenting with a forbidden technique. When his teammates discovered it, he turned on them. He then clashed with several Leaf shinobi before disappearing. Since then, his name has carried weight among missing nin. Naruko's eyes widened. He turned against his own team? Anko simply nodded. Shikamaru clenched his fists quietly, piecing together family stories he had heard. His normally calm demeanor sharpened with focus and resolve. Anko noticed. Don't even think about it, Shikamaru. This mission is beyond your level. We're leaving, end of discussion. Kiba hesitated but agreed. Naruko looked reluctant, but eventually nodded as well. With no further argument, Anko led them onto the rooftops. They moved swiftly, avoiding unnecessary fights. Any mercenaries who tried to intercept them were easily handled from a distance so the team could maintain speed. Eventually, they landed in a patch of grass near the outer gate. But just as they neared escape, a figure in a purple robe blocked their path. Run! Anko ordered. Head for the gate. I'll hold him off. Kiba and Naruko wanted to object, but Shikamaru stepped in. She's right. We need to follow orders. She can handle herself. The 3 genin pressed on. Meanwhile, Anko faced the robed stranger. With a flash of hand seals, she declared. Fire style, fireball jutsu. Flames roared forward, but the robed figure narrowly escaped, discarding his burning cloak. Underneath stood a tall shinobi with yellow eyes, long red hair, and a strange marking on his forehead, a curse seal. Dash. At the gate, mercenaries gathered in formation to block the genin. Shadow clone jutsu. Naruko called, multiplying into 3. Kiba and Akamaru rushed forward, working in tandem. Naruko's clones cleverly used shuriken to disrupt the mercenaries' defense, while while Kiba and Akamaru combined their speed for a coordinated strike. Shikamaru observed. Who knew Naruko could be this strategic? With teamwork, they broke through the mercenaries' formation. But just as they neared freedom, another purple-robed figure appeared in their way. Another one? Kiba gasped. There are several of them, Shikamaru reasoned. We may have underestimated how many could fight. Naruko crossed her arms. Doesn't matter. We're getting out of here like Sensei said. Right, her teammates agreed. They prepared a formation, Shikamaru's shadows ready to bind, Naruko's clones for support fire, and Kiba with Akamaru launching their fang over fang. Working together, they overwhelmed the opponent and revealed beneath the robe not a stranger, but a leaf shinobi with unusual eyes, Byakugan. Those eyes. They look like Hinata's, Naruko exclaimed. Shikamaru's eyes narrowed. Something is wrong. These marks. They're under some kind of curse. More robed shinobi appeared around them, each with the same lifeless yellow eyes and identical markings. Shikamaru realized the truth. So that's it. The rogue Yamanaka's forbidden technique isn't just a curse. It's mind control. Elsewhere in the village, a lone rogue ninja smirked to himself. So. They've discovered me, he murmured. But they know only the surface of my abilities. This could be entertaining. Anko swiftly dodged the red-haired ninja's trench knives, noting with sharp eyes that his technique mirrored Asuma's. Chakra blades. And he's even using wind style, she realized. His long hair whipped backward as he infused chakra into his weapon, striking with remarkable force. Pitiful, the controlled shinobi muttered in a hollow tone. Your students endure longer than their teacher. How far the hidden leaf has fallen in my absence. He withdrew his blade, but paused when Anko began laughing with sharp confidence. Now this is going to be entertaining, she declared, a fierce grin spreading across her face. Her opponent remained expressionless, waiting to see what she would do. With a sudden motion, Anko produced a slimy duplicate body and let it fall to the ground. The enemy's eyes narrowed in confusion. I think I've figured it out, she remarked coolly. That mark of yours is a curse seal. You captured Leaf Shinobi and branded them, forcing them under your control. And I know your true master is listening right now. Her tone grew colder. Just remember, if you try to harm my students, you'll regret it. The battle resumed in close quarters. The wind user pressed forward, clearly instructed to keep the fight at short range to neutralize Anko's fire jutsu advantage. She read through his tactics but humored the challenge, exchanging blows while evading the wind-infused blades. He swiped at her midsection, but she leapt back. Striking shadow snakes. She countered, snakes shooting from her sleeves and wrapping around him. He sliced through them, but Anko used the distraction to deliver a swift kick that sent him tumbling back. He rose just in time to deflect a volley of shuriken with a gust of wind. The projectiles returned toward Anko, but she caught them with ease. Not bad, she admitted. Then, with a sly grin, but not nearly enough. The possessed shinobi lunged, but a snake erupted from underground, biting his leg with venom. Anko revealed the creature had tunneled from her sleeve as part of her trap. Her opponent collapsed into unconsciousness. He'll stay paralyzed for a while, she assessed. But I can't risk breaking the curse mark right now. I need to find my team. Elsewhere, Shikamaru struggled against an opponent he couldn't hold with his shadow. His chakra was nearly depleted, and he was forced to rely on strategy alone. Kiba and Akamaru pressed against another enemy, but Akamaru was knocked back into a tree and reverted from his transformation. Big mistake, Kiba shouted, charging forward. Meanwhile, Naruko cried out fiercely, launching shadow clones to overwhelm the controlled Jonin. Despite heavy strikes, she pushed herself up again, determination blazing in her eyes. Her ribs ached, but she refused to falter. You guys hold him off. She ordered her clones. Leave it to us. They chorused in unison, charging ahead. Naruko dashed toward Kiba, but her opponent anticipated her move and blasted her with a lightning-style technique midair. Sparks rippled across her body as she crashed down. Naruko! Shikamaru called out, only to be struck by a Hyuga's precise attack that dropped him to his knees. Seeing her teammates fall, Naruko's blue eyes flared red for an instant, her chakra surging wildly. She gritted her teeth, producing another massive wave of clones, over 60 this time. Kiba stared in awe. I can't believe she made that many. Don't give up, Kiba, Naruko shouted. Didn't Anko-sensei teach you a new technique? Try it. Kiba hesitated. I haven't mastered it yet, but I'll try. With a deep breath, He performed the seals. A puff of smoke appeared, revealing a tiny three-headed snake no longer than a finger. Naruko blinked in surprise. Seriously? The snake's 3 heads looked around. Our first summoning. One head cheered. Yes. Finally, another agreed. Kiba sighed. Well. At least it talks. Despite their struggles, Naruko's determination inspired them to press forward. The last of her clones were defeated, but before their enemies could close in, Anko reappeared. Need another example, Kiba? She asked with a sly grin. Forming seals, she summoned a gigantic 3-headed snake. Whoa, Naruko exclaimed, eyes wide. That's amazing. The massive creature blocked the path of the cursed shinobi, preventing their escape. Anko commanded, capture them alive. The middle head complied, scooping the enemies into its jaws without harm. They're secured, the baby snake confirmed proudly. Relieved but exhausted, Naruko and Kiba regrouped with Shikamaru and Akamaru. Anko joined them, her expression serious as she examined her team's condition. Before they could recover fully, another presence emerged, a robed figure approaching calmly. Anko's eyes narrowed. So you've decided to show yourself at last. Inoenji Yamanaka. Kinks's slitted pupils studied Inoenji Yamanaka with irritation as he slithered toward the battlefield. What about this one, can I strike? The oversized serpent asked Anko. Do as you please, she replied with cool amusement. Excellent. The left head chimed, delighted. Kinks, however, refused to let his sibling make the first move. Fire style, venomous flare, he shouted, releasing a stream of fire mixed with a strange, glowing liquid that burned brightly across the grass. Unbelievable. They even have their own jutsu, Naruko gasped, amazed to see a serpent perform fire techniques. Did you get him or not? The right head asked impatiently as smoke thickened from the scorched grass and branches. I can't tell. Kinks admitted, frustrated. The left head leaned forward, but the haze revealed nothing. He eventually detached and slithered on his own, circling the flames curiously. Naruko's wide blue eyes turned to Kiba. Did you know they could even do that? Nope, Kiba admitted, shaking his head. They've got more surprises than I thought. The baby snakes, eager to impress, copied their father's trick, slithering apart before regrouping when Naruko and Kiba failed to react. They pouted like children disappointed that their playful tricks weren't getting attention. Meanwhile, Inoenji Yamanaka took advantage of the smoke, forming hand signs from behind a tree. Mind transfer jutsu, he whispered before his body went limp. Kinks's body shuddered, drawing the attention of his right-sided brother. What's happening? Do you see something? He asked. But the laughter that followed was not Kinks's own, it was a voice everyone recognized. Kiba stiffened. That's not the curse mark. It's the Yamanaka clan's technique. Anko narrowed her eyes, irritation flashing across her face. Mind transfer jutsu. Of course. Inoenji smirked within his new vessel, calculating his next move. He released his hold just long enough to summon forward his controlled subordinates. Their bodies slid across the grass, covered in sticky residue before they rose again, eyes glowing with the cursed seal. As smoke cleared, Inoenji stepped out from the shadows. He was tall, with long blonde hair, one sharp yellow eye, and a scar cutting across the other. His black garments glimmered faintly beneath a leather vest, his presence radiating a strange authority. Now that my advantage is restored, this little contest is over, he declared. Soon, every shinobi of the Hidden Leaf will bear my mark. And with that power, I will rise far beyond this village. Anko sneered. You think you can take on the entire village by yourself? The rogue's lips curled into a sly smile. Not alone. With the 9 tails released, the very foundations of the 5 great nations will crumble. His gaze flicked to Naruko. Naruko stiffened as Kiba looked at her in confusion. Tell them, Jinchuriki, Inoenji taunted. Naruko lowered her head, gathering courage. The 4th Hokage didn't destroy the 9 tails. It was sealed inside a newborn. And that child was me. Kiba blinked, then slowly nodded. Memories aligned, Naruko's immense chakra, her unusual recovery speed, her fierce determination. He placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. That doesn't change anything. We're your team, Naruko. We're not backing down. Relief softened Naruko's expression, and determination returned to her eyes. That's right. He's not taking anything from us, not the leaf, not the 9 tails, nothing. Anko allowed herself a faint smile. Despite the danger, her Jinan radiated a fire that made her proud to be their leader. But Inoenji only laughed, raising his hand as his cursed subordinates advanced. Guard Shikamaru. Anko barked. He's vulnerable, and we can't let the seal spread further. Naruko and Kiba nodded. Right. Anko drew her chains, clashing against the approaching foes while Naruko summoned clones for defense. The air sparked as senbone needles infused with wind chakra zipped past with incredible speed. Naruko and Kiba dodged, though two of the clones vanished instantly. Lightning style, senbone. The enemy called, this volley moving faster still. Naruko and Kiba braced themselves, struggling under the sheer speed, while Akamaru whimpered at Kiba's side. Kiba gritted his teeth. They're fast. Too fast. Inoenji's laughter echoed through his controlled ninja. It's only a matter of time before your strength fades. The Nine Tails, your techniques, your futures, they all belong to me. But even as the tension mounted, Naruko's eyes blazed with determination. No, she declared fiercely. We'll find a way through this together. I won't give up, and neither will my friends. The baby snake slithered closer to Kiba's ear and whispered mischievously, see? We're not completely useless. It's time you change your strategy. Naruko stirred as her eyes opened, surprised to find herself no longer at the gates of Conalvera. The place around her was dim, and she could hear a deep, rhythmic sound, something massive breathing. Child! A booming voice echoed. Naruko spun around and found herself standing before a gigantic beast with 9 sweeping tails, crouched inside an immense cage. Its glowing eyes locked on her. "See the 9 tails," Naruko whispered. "I sensed your thoughts drifting," the mighty fox rumbled. "So I decided we should talk." Naruko crossed her arms, determined not to be intimidated. "What do you want?" The 9 tails let out a low growl. "You misunderstand. This is not just about me. Someone is attempting to seize control of my power, Inoenji Yamanaka. His clan's mind techniques are advanced, even strong enough to affect me. If he succeeds, he will command my strength against both of us. Neither you nor I would be free." Naruko blinked, startled. She had heard rumors about Inoenji's unusual abilities, but to think even the 9 tails felt threatened. "You may not care for my freedom," the beast continued, "but if he ensnares me, you too will be caught. We are both at risk." Naruko hesitated, then nodded slowly. "So what are you asking me to do?" "Allow me slightly greater access to your chakra network," the 9 tails explained. "With that, I can enhance your healing and protect you more fully. And when his mind techniques try to entrap you, I will interfere. Together, we might resist him." Naruko frowned thoughtfully. Trusting the 9 tails was never easy, but she understood the urgency. Meanwhile, Kiba was struggling against a skilled opponent controlled by Inoenji. The enemy's movements were fast and precise, switching from taijutsu strikes to a sudden gentle fist technique. Kiba gasped as the impact locked his muscles. Before the foe could continue, Kiba quickly pulled out a kunai and pressed it against his attacker's arm. The controlled ninja staggered slightly. Inoenji's voice echoed through the puppet-like body, mocking. "Clever. But do you really think such tricks will stop me?" Kiba managed a grin. "You'll figure it out soon enough." As the enemy's movements faltered, Inoenji examined the kunai with annoyance. "Poison?" "Snake venom," Kiba replied with a smirk, as a tiny 3-headed snake slithered onto his shoulder. Not exactly subtle, but effective. The opponent collapsed into unconsciousness, leaving Inoenji momentarily frustrated. Elsewhere, Anko faced Inoenji directly. He launched a fierce attack, his strikes fueled by borrowed techniques. But Anko responded with her own skill, weaving between assaults and answering with clever misdirection. Inoenji sneered. "Illusions? My Byakugan can pierce through them. Nothing escapes my sight." Anko's eyes narrowed. "Maybe so. But relying on stolen talent only proves what you lack yourself." The battle intensified as Inoenji and one of his controlled subordinates performed a synchronized technique, doubling the speed and impact of their strikes. Anko braced herself, deflecting as many as possible, though the rapid blows pushed her to her limit. "You're strong," Inoenji admitted grudgingly. "But this ends here." Anko steadied her breathing, then allowed a sly grin. "Who said I was finished?" With that, her form shifted and slipped free, revealing one of her signature escape techniques. Inoenji smirked with confidence. "Yes, waste what little chakra." Why? He suddenly stopped, his Byakugan revealing something astonishing. Naruko's new body showed no sign of damage, and every chakra point he had sealed was now open again. Although her technique consumed a lot of energy, the way she used it actually restored more than it spent, giving her back some of her strength. The Yamanaka narrowed his eyes. So you managed to recover some chakra. Clever. Still, he knew his strategy couldn't last forever either. Meanwhile, Kiba tended to Akamaru, carefully removing all the needles from both Naruko and his partner. He wrapped Akamaru's injuries with quick precision, his worry making him tense enough to draw a shuriken the instant Naruko stirred with a soft groan. Realizing it was her, he sighed with relief and tucked the weapon away. Naruko stood, her expression determined. Aside from her torn clothing, she looked perfectly fine. "Where is he?" she asked quickly, scanning the area. "Did you get him?" Kiba gave her a confident thumbs up, and Naruko almost jumped with excitement. "Nice work. How did you manage that?" "These little ones helped," Kiba explained, gesturing toward the tiny snake. "Seriously?" Naruko asked, raising an eyebrow. "Do not underrate us." The left head of the snake hissed proudly. "We coated one of Kiba's kunai with a special venom and guided him on where to strike," the right head explained in her gentler, feminine voice. The middle head sighed. "So? Do we wait here, or should we assist Mistress Anko?" "Mistress?" Naruko echoed curiously. "It is the title our parents taught us to use for her," the right head clarified. "She is their favorite summoner," the left head added proudly. Naruko let the matter drop and looked to Kiba. "What do you think?"
I have an idea we could try," she admitted, careful not to mention that the nine tails had stirred within her.
Kiba nodded firmly. "We can't leave everything to Sensei. She's amazing, but that guy is different. He can combine abilities from his cursed ninja and adjust them as he wants. The only thing stopping him is their natural chakra affinities." Naruko frowned thoughtfully. "That sounds complicated, but if you're going to help Anko-sensei, then I'm in too." She created several shadow clones. "Guard Shikamaru and Akamaru." The original ordered. Anko rolled aside to evade a fire-style jutsu, countering with a volley of shuriken. She counted her remaining tools, 2 kunai, no shuriken, and only a handful of paper bombs. Inoenji charged again, his cursed ninja following. "Let's see you avoid this again." 8 trigrams, 256 palms, he declared, only to stop as the Byakugan revealed her decoy. His target transformed into a log, the real Anko already leaping away. She darted into the forest, knowing she couldn't hide from his eyes but could at least use the terrain. The enemy chased relentlessly. "You can't get away. No trick can fool the Byakugan," Inoenji shouted. The Genin were closing in behind, but he focused only on Anko. She split into 3 shadow clones, each holding kunai tied with string and paper bombs attached. Together, they formed a triangular trap around him. "I suggest you don't move," Anko warned calmly. "These strings are holding back a chain of explosions. If you break them, they will ignite instantly." Inoenji studied the trap, frustrated yet impressed. She had deliberately guided him here, using his own confidence in the Byakugan against him. "You'll run out of chakra eventually," he said smugly. "You wouldn't risk harming your own village's ninja just to stop me." Anko's smile was steady, her expression unyielding. "If protecting my team means holding my ground, then I'll do it without hesitation." Kiba and Naruko watched from a distance, whispering in awe. "Wow, Anko-sensei's got him," Naruko said. But Inoenji wasn't done. The Hyuga under his control made a hand sign, mind transfer jutsu. And suddenly one of Anko's clones twitched oddly before falling apart, his strategy revealed. He had tried to redirect her trap. Before he could succeed, however, a set of shuriken cut through the strings, triggering the chain of paper bombs. The resulting blast sent shockwaves across the forest, scattering leaves and light. When the smoke cleared, the clones had vanished, and Anko released the chakra from her trap, breathing heavily but standing strong. Kiba grinned at Naruko. "That was brilliant. We stopped him together." "Yeah. Believe it." Naruko cheered, her energy lifting the team's spirits. Anko called out, "I'm fine. Now, gather everyone and get Shikamaru some support quickly." The Genin nodded, rallying around their teammates, determined to move forward together. Sakura leaned comfortably against a tree, watching Sasuke practice with his weapons. He hardly acknowledged her presence, but she didn't mind too much. Usually, Ino would be there as well, and the two of them would compete for Sasuke's attention, often training harder than usual just to keep up with him. But since Ino hadn't shown up this time, Sakura decided to simply enjoy observing him. From time to time, she glanced around, half expecting Ino to appear, though she knew it was unlikely since word had spread that Anko's team had been involved in a serious mission. Because of that, Ino was spending time with her family and visiting Shikamaru, who was recovering at the hospital. Sakura didn't really want to run into Ino, but she knew it would feel wrong to avoid visiting a teammate just to escape an awkward encounter. "Hey, Sasuke, how about we take a short break? We should really check on Shikamaru." "What do you mean we?" Sasuke replied sharply, catching Sakura off guard. "You're not doing anything, just standing there watching me. If you want to waste your time, that's your choice, but don't involve me." His words stung more than she wanted to admit, but Sakura managed to keep her composure and quietly walked away. Why is he so upset? He's never like this with Ino. And I wasn't even bothering him. She thought, frustrated. Without realizing it, her steps carried her toward the hospital. "Why do you keep so much bottled up, Sasuke? How am I supposed to know what's troubling you if you never say?" She whispered softly. "Good morning, Sakura," came a familiar voice. She looked up to see Kakashi, book in hand as usual. Forcing a smile, she greeted, "Hello, Kakashi-sensei. I stopped by the training grounds, but you weren't there," he noted. "I was. I just left to check on Shikamaru," she explained. "Oh, I see." Sasuke didn't mention that. When I asked him if he wanted to go, he wasn't interested. Sakura felt her heart sink. He didn't even bring it up? Kakashi, noticing her mood, changed the subject gently. "Well, let's head there together." They soon arrived at the hospital. After checking in at the desk, they learned Shikamaru was still resting and visitors had to wait in the hallway. As they made their way upstairs, Sakura worried silently. What exactly happened to him? On the third floor, they found familiar faces already gathered, Anko relaxing with a small bowl of food, Kiba petting Akamaru, Choji with his father Choza, and, most unexpectedly, Naruko Uzumaki, sitting quietly against the wall. For once, the usually energetic Kunoichi was still and silent. "Hello, Kakashi," Choza greeted warmly. "It's been a while," Kakashi replied. "I only wish it were under happier circumstances." "The doctors say Shikamaru should recover," Choji added. "He's strong," Anko reassured with a half smile. "He'll bounce back before we know it." Sakura greeted her classmates one by one. Kiba gave a small wave, but Naruko didn't even look up. Normally, Naruko was full of energy and chatter, but today she seemed completely lost in thought. Anko noticed too, Naruko's quietness was unusual, almost concerning. Kakashi inquired about the mission, and Anko, with help from Kiba, recounted what had happened, though she carefully left out sensitive details. Sakura found herself glancing at Naruko in surprise. She never imagined her teammate being involved in something so important. As the group continued to chat, Sakura's attention kept drifting to Naruko. She remained motionless, staring at the door. "Naruko," Sakura said gently, trying to get her attention. When there was no response, she raised her voice a little. "Naruko." The blonde finally blinked, startled. "Sakura?" she murmured, as though only just noticing her presence. The others fell silent, watching. Naruko stood quickly, brushing off her daze. "I'll be right back, I just need to stretch my legs." Kiba stood as well, following her lead. "Yeah, I'll take Akamaru out for a short walk too." Sakura folded her arms, her inner thoughts echoing loud and clear, something's definitely bothering her. "Naruko," Kiba called, catching up to her just as she started heading downstairs. The blonde turned around with clear irritation on her face to meet her Inuzuka teammate and his dog. "What now?" she said sharply. "Are you following me just because Sensei told you to? Well, you can go back and tell Sensei I said she can keep her comments to herself." "That's not it at all," Kiba interrupted. "She didn't put me up to anything. We all noticed you weren't acting like yourself. And she just asked me to make sure you got where you were going safely." "I already said I was just going to the bathroom," Naruko retorted. "Do you want to come hold the door for me too?" Kiba's face flushed bright red. "You're unbelievable. Anko-sensei cares about you and this is how you respond? You're acting so immature right now, like you're back in the academy." Naruko's eyes narrowed. "Oh, I get it now. You never wanted me on this team in the first place, did you? I've been waiting for you to finally say it out loud." Kiba huffed but then sighed, letting his shoulders relax a little. A small laugh escaped him. "What's so funny?" Naruko demanded, glaring. "You're right. At first, I wasn't happy. But that doesn't matter anymore," Kiba admitted. "Back at the academy, you were known as the class clown, someone who didn't take anything seriously. But ever since you started showing what you can really do, like when you used that shadow clone jutsu, you've proved you're capable. You're part of Team 6. My team. Shikamaru sees the change too, I know it. If you can let go of how we thought about each other back then, we can actually move forward. With Shikamaru, Akamaru, you, and me. We could become one of the greatest teams the Hidden Leaf has ever seen. Anko-sensei was trained by one of the legendary Sannin, and I think we should aim even higher. His tone became more serious. That won't happen unless we learn to really get along, not just on missions, but as teammates outside of training too. If you've grown as much as your jutsu shows, then you already know I'm right. Naruko considered his words carefully, then slowly nodded. All right. I'll stop acting like I'm just tagging along. I admit. I haven't spent much time with you or Shikamaru outside of missions. You're probably right, we can't reach our full potential if I don't try harder. Kiba gave a small smile. A team is like a pack, he explained. We can't just tolerate each other, we need to become real friends. Naruko blinked in surprise. Friends? She whispered. Few people had ever wanted to be her friend, aside from Konohamaru, and that was still pretty recent. A team can only shine when its members treat it like a family, Kiba continued. Shikamaru's easygoing, so it's really up to you and me to bridge the gap. If we do that, we'll all grow stronger. Naruko's lips curved into a determined smile. All right then, friends it is, she declared. Inside, she felt a spark of excitement at the thought. Kiba smirked. Good. Now, friends usually explain why they're acting strange enough that their sensei sends someone after them. So, what's really going on? Is it about Shikamaru? Or something else? Naruko sighed. Come on, let's grab a bite to eat. I'll tell you on the way. Dash. Meanwhile, elsewhere. Billboard brow. Ino pig. Kakashi sighed deeply as Sakura and Ino bickered right in front of their peers, completely forgetting themselves. It was moments like these that made him wonder how he ended up with such lively students. Trying to distract them, Kakashi casually said, Oh look, there's Sasuke. What? Where? Sakura spun around quickly, while Ino immediately pulled out a mirror to check her hair. When they realized Sasuke wasn't there, both turned toward their teacher with frustrated looks. Anko chuckled softly from nearby, clearly entertained, while Inoki sighed in embarrassment for his daughter. Before Kakashi could scold Sakura, she excused herself. I'll be right back, Kakashi-sensei. I need to step away for a moment. He didn't believe her, but let her go. Just then, Naruko walked by with Kiba. Naruko, Sakura greeted briefly. You wanted to tell me something earlier? Naruko asked, remembering Sakura had pulled her aside before. Sakura froze, then quickly replied, It's nothing. Forget about it. She brushed past them before Naruko could say more. Kiba chuckled. What's so funny? Naruko asked, narrowing her eyes. I thought we just agreed to be friends. Yeah, but that doesn't mean I won't laugh every time you waste your energy asking her out, Kiba teased. Naruko puffed her cheeks in annoyance, but before she could respond, they reached the others gathered outside Shikamaru's room. He still hasn't woken up? Kiba asked softly. Yoshino looked down, trying to hold back tears. Anko tried to reassure her gently. Just then, Choji and his teammates arrived with their Jonin leader. Hey everyone. Choji greeted warmly, his teammates Hinata and Shino standing beside him. Hi, Choji. Everyone, Hinata said softly, sneaking a quick glance at Naruko before lowering her gaze again. Hello, Shino greeted in his calm, neutral way. Despite the heavy atmosphere, the group began to feel a little stronger simply being together. For Naruko, it felt like another step towards something she had always wanted, true friends. Shikamaru had been awake for nearly 15 minutes, but he kept his eyes closed. Voices echoed faintly in the hallway, and curiosity urged him to figure out who was out there before revealing that he had regained consciousness. He was aware he was in the hospital, though the reason and length of his stay remained unclear. What he did know, however, was that Ino and Sakura were engaged in one of their usual spirited arguments, making him far less eager to face them just yet. There are so many people out there now. He thought. I shouldn't make them wait too long, but I'd really rather not walk into all that noise right now. And if Sasuke's out there too, he'll probably get under my skin almost as much as his teammates. What a hassle. Still, Shikamaru knew his team would remain until he woke up, which didn't sit right with him either. He sighed quietly, finally opening his eyes. Women sure can be troublesome, he mused inwardly. Even though Shikamaru had woken up, the visitors had to wait an additional 20 minutes while the doctors finished their examinations. Entry was allowed only in groups, so the visitors organized themselves by squads. Shikamaru's parents, Inoiki and Yoshino, entered first with Choza, as no one dared suggest that Shikamaru's mother should wait behind anyone else. Anko volunteered her team to go last, reasoning that they would likely spend more time with him than the others. Genma's team went in first after Kakashi requested it, mainly so he could privately remind his students to behave properly once they were inside. Outside, as the groups waited their turn, conversations carried on lightly. Sakura, however, grew quiet and thoughtful. Our team is so unbalanced that Kakashi-sensei doesn't even trust us to visit someone together without supervision. That's embarrassing. She reflected. Her mind wandered back to the day they had first met Kakashi. She remembered herself and Ino rolling across the floor in an argument, playfully fighting after trading remarks over who Sasuke was happier to be teamed with. Sasuke had simply observed in silence, hands folded neatly on the table, until the door opened. Kakashi entered, casting his gaze over them with unimpressed calm. My first impression of this group is, "You're a handful," he remarked. Ino had tried to cover her slip with a forced smile. "Sakura, come on, it's our turn," she said brightly. Later, once the doctors were satisfied, Shikamaru explained the situation to his team. "They told me I'll make a full recovery, but it's going to take some time before I'm fit for missions again. My body still needs to heal naturally, so I'll have to rest at home for a while. Honestly, it's a drag. But there's no helping it." Anko nodded. "I expected as much. I've already filed paperwork with the Hokage to excuse Team 6 from missions while you recover. Still, this slows down my training plans. I'll continue training Naruko and Kiba, but for you, Shikamaru, it'll need to be light exercises at first." "Mild training sounds fine to me," Shikamaru replied lazily, which amused Naruko and Kiba but earned a frown from Anko. Akamaru, cheerful as ever, hopped onto Shikamaru's bed and licked his face. "Hey, cut that out!" Shikamaru protested, and Kiba lifted the puppy away with a grin. "Looks like he's warming up to you. He usually only pays attention to me, but I guess he's gotten used to being around you guys a lot lately." At that moment, the doors opened and Shikaku, Shikamaru's father, entered. His tired eyes softened as he saw his son. "Shikamaru. I came as soon as I heard." "Time to give them some privacy," Anko announced. Naruko and Kiba nodded in agreement. "Heal up soon, Shikamaru." "I can't wait until we're back on missions again," Kiba said enthusiastically. Shikamaru chuckled. "I'm in no rush to jump back into that just yet." Naruko and Kiba laughed, offering their goodbyes before following Anko out. When the room grew quiet, Shikaku studied his son carefully. "You seem different now that your teammates are gone. What's on your mind?" Shikamaru hesitated before answering. "It's just. When we found out it was Inoenji Yamanaka behind everything, I wanted to contribute more. I felt like I should have done something important. But before I even got the chance, I was taken out of the situation." Shikaku placed a reassuring hand on his son's shoulder. "Don't dwell on that. Inoenji is a powerful adversary, and even I would have a hard time against him. You're still a Genin, Shikamaru. No one in the clan expected you to carry that kind of responsibility. What matters is that you're safe." He gave his son a small smile. "We're just grateful you're all right. Leave the heavy burdens to those of us prepared for them. Focus on recovering and tell me, how did your mother handle the visit?" Shikamaru managed a small laugh at that. He could only imagine how emotional Yoshino must have been earlier. Dear YouTube family, this is all for now. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Your support keeps the adventure going. Thank you for being part of this journey. Stay awesome. 6 Path Weeb.